Hi everybody, welcome to Conic IT's presentation on our behavior analysis solution for mainframe service management. Hope you enjoy it. Conic IT is a software vendor and we specialize in the research development of behavioral analysis solutions for mainframe computers. That means we use sophisticated mathematics and statistical techniques to learn the behavior of your mainframe, to use that information to create a profile of normal behavior and then pinpoint and notify you of anomalies that could be causing performance issues. We see two main issues in helping organizations solve their mainframe service problems. The first is discovering the problem, and the second is fixing the problem. In discovering the problem, IT is not always the last to know about a service problem, but in many cases is the second organization to know. Users and customers notice the problem first, call in, and then notify IT that there is some issue with the system. Then once the problem has been found, they need to fix the problem. And that's always hard because you figure out what subsystem is responsible, who's responsible for that subsystem, what is the real root cause. And one of the key problems, as we'll see later, is that we're looking at data after the fact. So we're seeing symptomatic data that shows the problem, not necessarily data that shows the real problem itself. And this causes a number of issues. First of all, service-related malfunctions happen again and again, and sometimes you need to wait till they happen again so that you can actually find the problem and try to fix it. There are inconsistent service levels. It raises the cost of IT. So lots of bad things happen because of this. So what would the ideal solution do? Well, it would help with two aspects of the problem. It would help with the problem discovery and would help with the problem solution. With the problem discovery, it would make sure that the ISD staff is always the first to know about a problem. They know about it before other people and they know about it before customers and users, which means that they've actually found out about the problem before it started to affect end customers. And also, we want to be able to help with the problem solution. We want to help IT to be able to quickly identify the subsystems that are at fault, causing the problems, find the people that own those subsystems, give them the information they need to quickly ascertain the root cause and fix it, and making sure that they're effective at fixing the problem right the first time. This, of course, has a lot of benefits to it. First of all, it makes sure that IT is used much more efficiently and productively because they're not doing false alerts, they're not having war rooms, they're not chasing down problems in the wrong places. It makes sure that the IT system is more stable because once you've found the problem and fixed the real root cause, the chances of it happening again are almost zero. And finally, it makes sure that you meet your SLAs. By helping you fix the problems faster and then fixing the real root cause, it ensures that you're always on target with your SLA. So how does Conic IT do it? Well, we do it by leveraging your existing mainframe performance monitors, be it OmegaMon, TMon, SysView, or MainView. We sit outside your mainframe on a Linux box and we gather information from a variety of monitors on your system. We then take that information in order to build up a behavioral profile that describes how your system should be working. Based on that behavioral profile, we build up dynamic thresholds and we understand what is the standard performance of your mainframe and what does it look like from a behavioral perspective. Then we take that and analyze the current state of your mainframe and understand whether or not your mainframe is working within its normal boundaries. If it's not, we can actually pinpoint the anomalies that are causing your machine to act differently, and based on those anomalies we can issue alerts, or we can actually gather up the causal information that caused the anomaly so that the root cause of the problem is understood. So think about it. We're monitoring your information in your system all the time, gathering information about it, and when we see something going wrong, something that's not normal, we gather information about that statistical anomaly and we start understanding what are the issues involved. As the anomaly turns into a performance problem, we continue to gather information and issue alerts so that if it really does become a performance problem, we'll have issued an alert that tells you about the problem before it became a user problem. And we've also gathered up all of the information in order to make it easy for you to find the root cause of the problem. This dramatically decreases the time it's required to identify an expert for solving the problem, and of course giving the expert the information they need in order to solve the problem quickly, efficiently, and the first time they see it. One question that we always hear is that, I've invested a lot of money in my standard mainframe monitors, OmegaMon, SysView, MainView, TMon, and they're pretty good. Why do I need Conic IT? Well, the truth is they are good. They are very good. They're mature. They work well. But they focus on getting you raw information so that you are looking at the right place at the right time. You'd have the raw information about the issues that happen. What we do at Conic IT is we provide a complementary technology. We gather the information from those systems and we analyze it in such a way that we can provide behavioral information that gives you dynamic thresholds that help you understand problems and give you reliable alerts, and also causal information that points you to the root cause when a problem does occur. So looking at it more closely, what's the difference between Conic IT and your standard monitor is that we leverage your standard monitor and we use it to capture information from your system. Think about it as a smart robot that's using your existing monitor, gathering information about your system, and when it perceives an anomaly, when it sees something out of the norm, just like a smart operator, it goes and gets more information about that anomaly from your existing monitor. So it's monitoring your information all the time, and when it sees something unusual, it gathers more information about it. It uses that to create dynamic thresholds for your system, so it learns your system over time, and rather than have static thresholds, these thresholds change based on the specific performance of your systems. We focus on analyzing performance data, not on capturing it. We use your existing systems to capture the data, and then we analyze it. And we analyze it to do two things. We analyze it to make sure that we give you relevant alerts, and we analyze it to give you a causal chain of events that if a problem does surface, you actually know what is the root cause of that problem. Another question we get is, how is Conic IT different than the more modern reporting and dashboard tools that exist today on mainframes? Well, the difference is those tools focus on gathering information and presenting it in a way that's meaningful to the user, while we focus on analyzing information. We take the raw data from the performance monitors and we analyze it using sophisticated statistical and mathematical techniques in order to understand when there are behavioral anomalies and the root cause of those behavioral anomalies. So in a way, we present a new kind of data that can be used by your portals, behavioral data about how your system should be behaving, and when it's not behaving, what is causing the errant behavior. So looking at it in more detail, how are we different than your portal and standard reporting tools? Well, first of all, Conic IT automatically captures relevant data, and only the relevant data from the sources, right before and during the problem. We use our sophisticated behavioral analysis to understand when there's a problem that's brewing and then capture information about that data. We also focus on analyzing performance data and dynamic thresholds. So we focus on analyzing data while portals focus on presenting data. We can take our information and present it through your portal, giving you a new source of information about behavioral data, about how your system should be working and how it's working at the moment. And we can also provide you with information and presentations on what is the causal chain of events that has caused your performance problems that you're seeing now. Our customers tell us about Conic IT. Well, first of all, they tell us before they had Conic IT is that technical support knew about issues only after services degraded and users were calling in. They got a lot of information from their existing monitors, but that information didn't point them at the root cause. So what would happen when a performance problem did happen was that they would need to go and assemble everyone together to figure out what were the subsystems involved with the performance problem. People call them war rooms, tiger teams, getting everyone into a room, trying to figure out what are the issues. And then once they've narrowed it down to a set of possible issues, the specific people that own those subsystems would be spending a lot of time trying to understand the problem, and many times having to recreate the problem in order to understand what the issues were and try to fix them. This is in contrast to the way things were after they installed Conic IT. They installed Conic IT and used it to analyze data from existing monitors 24/7 and turn that data into relevant real-time information about performance anomalies. Those performance anomalies create alerts based on dynamic behavioral thresholds that enabled the team to know about performance problems before they affected users. So they were the first to know about problems, not the second or the last to know. Then that information actually provided a behavioral root cause analysis of what was the causal chain that caused the anomaly and caused the performance problem, so that they could get the right expert involved right away, and that person had all the information to fix the problem right the first time. So why is this so hard, and what is Conic IT that does it so special? Well, the idea is that when an anomaly happens, in other words, something strange happens to your system which causes a performance problem, it takes a long time until your users are affected. They're affected way over here. And by the time they see things, what you're seeing in the system, if you look at it, what you're not seeing the problem itself. You're seeing a number of symptoms that were caused by the actual problem. So if you actually try to capture it when the problem surfaces, as many rules engines try to do, you're still looking mostly at symptoms, not at the problem itself. What Conic IT does is it actually tracks the system automatically, building up behavioral profiles so that it can find these anomalies early. And when it sees an anomaly, it starts analyzing it, gathering more information about it, so that by the time the problem surfaces, it can actually understand whether it's a real problem or not, and has captured all the information about the state of the system right before and during the problem, so that when you try to solve it, what you're seeing are the real issues. You're not seeing symptoms. That, of course, isn't the only challenge. There are a number of other challenges that make this very difficult. The first is noisy data. If you think about CPU or any other kind of data that we're collecting from the system, it's very noisy. It has lots of peaks and valleys. Some of them are meaningful, other ones are not, and you need to be able to clean up that data to make sure that you get the gist of it and understand its actual meaning. Other issues include the data complexity. In a production mainframe, there's a huge number of parameters. There's lots going on. So you need to be able to analyze those parameters very quickly. And those parameters interact with each other. There is a context there. So you need to understand how things interact with each other and what is the overall context of what's going on in your machine in order to make sense of all of these different parameters and really have a behavioral profile. So just to give a little bit more insight, and what we ended up with is that we have a learning system that actually uses sophisticated mathematical analysis to create a behavioral profile of your system every hour of the day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year. This behavioral profile gives you a dynamic threshold of what's normal for your system, and then able to pinpoint and show you where anomalies are happening and what cause those anomalies. So what are our customers telling us about the business benefits of using Conic IT? Well, in one instance, Conic IT in a 3-month period caught more than 10 anomalies before they degraded service for users. This meant that before the users called, IT actually knew about the problem and was starting to fix it. So when the users called, they could tell them they were on top of it and that they were trying to fix the problem already. This showed that IT is in control of the systems and not the other way around, and it also allowed IT to build credibility and trust with management. It lowered costs because now they had improved service quality with the lower cost. They found issues faster and they fixed them more quickly. Finally, it also saved MIPS. Because of our behavioral profiles, they actually found programs that were misbehaving and overusing MIPS, allowing them to understand that they didn't need to upgrade their capacity, even though if those programs would have continued to work as normal, it would have seemed that they needed to upgrade capacity. I hope I've convinced you that Conic IT can bring benefits to your organization and to your users. The best part about it is getting started is very simple. Conic IT is non-intrusive. It sits on a Linux box outside your mainframe, and the only access it needs to your mainframe, or the only integration it needs, is to get a login into your existing performance monitor. It then self-learns by extracting information from your performance monitor, just as another user, and creates its own profile of your mainframe. That being said, it is fully customizable, so if need be, there is an API and an interface that allows the system to be customized to your specific needs. So thanks for the time. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. You're welcome to contact us or our U.S. distributor.